Welcome to another episode of Can You Reach That?
Can you reach that?
How's it going, dude?
Doing good yourself?
I'm good.
Are
I'm
you?
good.
That's good to hear.
I'm really good.
So, what
Yes.
weird question do you have for me today?
So you like the weird questions at the top of the show. Catch you. All right. Let me see. Well, I guess we could go this route.
Uh
If two blind people,
huh. Okay. Two blind people.
they're it's a couple. They're married,
Right.
male, female, married. They have a baby. Who watches it? Come on.
I mean,
Who watches the baby?
they put a bell on the baby so they can hear.
So newborn baby just got a belt, but he ain't walking. He ain't crying. I mean, he's crying, but he ain't walking around.
He'll be rolling. He'll be wiggling and jiggling, moving and shaking. They got to hear the baby move so they know where he's at. They can't see him, so.
I mean, there's all sorts of scenarios where I can tell you that's not going to work.
I mean, I don't know. I've never not gone without my eyesight, so I don't know how. Let's ask Stevie Wonder. I heard he can see though.
Shaq says he can see.
A lot of people say he can see.
Yeah, Shaq said that he got.
Anthony Anderson says he can
He walked
see.
in the elevator and dude came in from the garage where the cars were by himself, talking about what's up, Shaq.
Pressing buttons in the elevator
Yeah.
to his floor. Anthony Anderson said he walked all the way across the stage to where he was,
Right.
and then asked him to walk him to the piano. So,
But then the flip side though is I saw George. I think it was George W. Bush reach out to try to shake his hand one time, and Stevie's just sitting there.
I don't know. Maybe he's got selective vision,
So is he playing that role?
or maybe he's not like blind, but he's legally blind. Like he
Could be.
can see.
Silhouettes and stuff.
Right.
But
But I don't know.
But Stevie
Yeah.
Wonder ain't watching the baby.
He's not watching
Who's
the baby.
watching the baby?
I
Damn
don't know. Maybe they got to get a seeing eye, a seeing baby watcher,
it. Seeing eye dog
a
baby
seeing eye
watch.
dog baby watcher.
So the dog just gonna be like picking up the baby by the collar and
Yeah.
somehow
What,
changing his diapers.
What Animaniacs? You remember that the series, the cartoon with the dog Mindy?
Oh yeah.
They used to watch
So
the baby.
that's gonna be
Yeah.
they need a dog that's
They need a
specially
dog,
trained.
right?
That's crazy.
They need
That's
a
crazy.
watching baby dog.
That's crazy. That's what do you think about that? That's almost as bad as a deaf person being arrested and put in handcuffs, and it's like losing their freedom of speech.
Dude, I don't even know what happens. How does it, does he ever get aggressive? Like, what do they consider aggressive sign language? Like, is it all in their face?
Aggressive sign language. Like two deaf people cuss each other out.
Yeah, like what does that look like?
I feel like
Are they just moving really fast, or
you know what I've always wondered? Like, can stop laughing?
I can't help
This
it.
is genuine.
This
is genuine.
I got a
Do
vision.
deaf people stutter when they sign?
Yeah, let me stop. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
I genuinely want to know. I mean, if you're trying to figure out what to sign and you just kind of are like,
you just keep doing it over and over
kinda
again?
like, is that stuttering?
I don't know. That's inquiring minds want to know. Can deaf people stutter?
I guess we'll leave it into the comments. We're getting canceled.
If you're there's so many things that I'm wondering now. Can deaf people have Tourette's? What does that look like?
I feel like at that point they're just punching people. They start signing this.
And signs out of nowhere.
I feel like they're signing and they just punch them in the chin, just
Man,
catching two pieces. Like, what did I do?
that's
My bad. I
wild.
got Tourette's.
Sorry, it's my Tourette's. They're just smacking people.
Man, and if they don't, any deaf person listening, or I caught myself right when I said that.
As soon as
Any
he said
deaf
it,
person listening,
any deaf person
any
listening.
deaf person read the transcript.
Hey, first off, we appreciate you listening to our podcast.
This is our genuine ignorance. But if you read the transcript on this and you're deaf, feel free to use that. If there's somebody that you're chatting with your sign language and you don't care for this conversation, punch them and then tell them, my bad, I got Tourette's.
right.
That's a freebie as far as I'm concerned.
If you're losing an argument, do you just close your eyes to end the argument? No more conversation.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
I mean, how does a blind person sign that like they're thirsty? Like how do they?
Well, they're blind.
All right,
so
man.
they
I just want to
can-
see if I can get you. Because I be seeing them in things. People go like this, like but they're blind.
My wheels were turning.
They can still talk. They're
I'm
blind.
not
They
gonna
can
act
still
like
talk.
my wheels weren't turning.
All
Just
right, man.
now.
Yeah,
I was like,
I wanted to see if I can sneak that one in because a lot of people get caught.
Man, you almost got me.
You remember how they used to be like, "Hey, you got something on your chin," and
You
then people
almost got
start
me.
going like this.
I almost fell for that one.
I bet.
That'd have been a long fall too.
Bet. So you got it. You got it.
That's wild.
Well, let's start the show.
Can you reach that? You see that? Let's talk about it. Read that. Believe that. Let the people know that we see that and what they want to know. Can you reach that? Can you reach that?
And now your hosts, Tango and Coop.
Can you reach that? Can you reach that?
Can you reach that?
This dude, I swear. Yeah, man. I don't know. I
Until
feel bad.
until next week.
I feel bad for the baby.
Until next week when I can get you with something else.
Another question? Yeah, man. I don't know if I look forward to these questions or not, but they're definitely interesting.
The last week one about the mind reading got a lot of people.
Yeah, man.
The mind reading mind readers.
That was definitely some pothead thought process there.
And they definitely hit the comments.
Yeah, they did.
Shout out to Juju, aka Mario.
Big Juju in the house. Yeah, man. So it's been a minute since we talked about some pops on the show.
It has, I'm not gonna lie, I took a little bit of a sabbatical when it came to the pop.
We both did. I think we talked about that at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
We were kind of putting some brakes on.
My last, I think, purchase was, the end of November.
Yeah. It's been a while.
So yeah.
But they got me.
You relapsed?
I did relapse. I got hit with the ad talking about
They wanted you to go to rehab.
and I was like,
No.
yeah. Nah, they did the ad because, it's graduation season. A lot of people are graduating. So they did
I know where this is going.
they did the pop yourself with a little discount. And
Yeah. I mean, mine's usually sitting up here.
you got yours, yeah. I got mine. It's in storage somewhere. I can't get to it. But with graduation season coming up, or
Mhm.
we're in graduation season now. And actually the day that this drops, I'll be walking my commencement ceremony.
Yep, the day that this episode comes out.
Yeah.
Congrats on that.
Thank you. I went ahead and popped myself.
Popped yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, you graduated from the short bus shorty school.
Shout bus shorty. Shout. Yeah. So I got it. I got the box.
So you ain't even
I
cracked it
haven't
open.
even opened the box yet. I started to, and then I was like, you know what? Let me wait. Because I wasn't even gonna. I was just gonna open it up and then just put it in the closet with the rest of my other pops.
The first pop reveal
So this is
unboxing on Can You Reach That?
of 2025 of the season, and first pop I've bought of the year, which I'm pretty proud of myself because we're in May now. So
Right, we're almost halfway there, but you relapsed.
I went a whole 5 months without buying a pop.
I'm
So-
on step 6 of my 12-step program.
Oh yeah, I got to start back over now.
When do I get my chip?
Your chip. Oh, look at that. It says you are one of one. There are millions of ways to create a pop, but only one you. That's pretty cool. And then it's got the
It's almost like they wrote that for everybody.
I know, but I like being one of one.
One of one.
I like being one of one.
So we checking out
So let's open it up.
the Coop pop.
Ooh, well packaged. I like that they put this extra piece of cardboard in there to keep it from getting bent. Because when you order it from anywhere else, it's kind of
Oh, yeah,
it's hit or
Amazon.
miss.
Amazon.
or
They come crushed.
Mercari,
Oh yeah.
hit or miss on
Yeah,
those too.
Them used sites.
Yeah, so got the pop yourself. Hold on, let's go ahead and. Do I want
Well,
to
let's
take
hold
it out?
let's hold it up so that let's let the viewers
Can we
peep it out.
see it? Can we see it?
Yeah, hold that
Does
up.
it light up right? Does it light up nicely?
That's dope.
Can we see that? Yeah.
Word. Let me check it out. Oh, you got the cap and
I
gown.
was gonna open it up, but I don't want to mess the box up.
See, when you said you was getting a diploma, I didn't realize you meant this.
No, this is the second diploma.
You graduated. Oh,
Can I
dude,
open this
if you
up
open
without-
it, it's not mint condition. It's not,
Anyway, yeah. So
I'm just messing with you, dog.
you know, it's got the hair. I don't want to mess the box up. That's all. But I'm going to if I open it.
You are.
Well, you know what? It don't matter. It's my pop. It's not like I'm gonna resell it anyway. So
Hey, you never know, man. 10 years from now, it might be worth like $2 just for the plastic material
right.
to be recycled.
Put the cover on it too. I don't remember
Oh,
having that.
snap. Dang, that was a hard hit. Oh, that's the stand.
Oh, the stand for it. They do this weird now. Oh, it's got 2 stands? Oh no, they got it tied in.
Oh, you got to.
I'm like, why isn't it?
Dang.
Ow, why isn't it coming out?
Did you stab
I just
yourself?
stabbed myself. All right, they got it tied in there too tight. I can't get it out, but I
Well,
might need a medic later.
But
Yeah, check that out.
put it up on the shelf.
Looks pretty good.
I dig it. Now we got the official. I love how it has pretty close to your hair, but it has a white dude's beard. Just
Yeah,
saying.
that's the best beard I could get.
I know, they
it
don't-
did get me too.
They don't have many variations of beards. There's just one texture.
Pop, we need some more nappy beards.
So that's what's up, though, man.
My beard ain't that straight.
I mean, I know when we first started shooting, I put mine up here, and it's about time that since you couldn't get your other ones out of the store, it's about time we got you one up here. So now we got
This ain't staying.
we got the coupe one.
This ain't staying.
Yeah, but until you get your other ones.
My man is coming home with me. I'm gonna put him right next to the
graduate.
bed.
That's what's up, though.
A little commemoration of my accomplishments. A little pop of myself. How vain is that? A gift for myself of myself.
For yourself.
For myself. Of myself.
Get all of them.
All me's.
Yeah.
All the different version of me's. I'm gonna have like a bunch of Snoop Dogs, but it'll be all me.
Narcissist University.
Right? Different outfits and shit. Be like, oh, this is Beach Snoop.
I was thinking, it was actually funny because I was actually thinking about a while back, that you can get 2-packs now.
Yeah.
And I thought about doing an official for the show, doing a Tango and Coupe 2-pack.
Oh, that would be dope.
So I might have to swing it if I relapse.
If you relapse.
But
Well, that'll be it. I mean, that's not the only one I got. I bought a couple extra because, you get the free shipping
Gotta
when you
get free
spend over
shipping.
65. Yeah, you got to get the free shipping. So I
That's
bought a couple
crazy.
other ones, but they didn't come. So
that's nuts.
those are going to go straight to the collection.
Straight to the collection.
Straight to the collection. Yeah, but feels good. I mean, I'm happy with it. It looks good. I like the hair.
It came out dope. It
Had
came
the
out
little
dope.
twisties. I got the little twisties.
Yeah, it
The
came out
beard,
dope.
though. They could have.
Yeah, it's a white guy beard.
My beard ain't
It's a
that
white guy
straight.
beard.
My beard ain't that straight.
Yeah. Well, we can
Get a straightener
we
in.
can straighten her and
Yeah,
get it done.
we could do that.
So on a
Another note?
nostalgic subject,
Yeah.
Rite Aid is going at it. They're closing them down. And Rite Aid being that was
That
Thrifty,
means no more Thrifty's ice cream.
Thrifty ice cream, man.
I was mad. I was sad when they shut Thrifty's down.
Right? Like as a kid, going to Thrifty's for any reason
Yeah.
with my mom, my dad, whatever.
Always ended with some ice cream.
For me it didn't always end, but I hoped it
Oh
did.
no.
It wasn't every time we went, but every time I was at least asking for some, and,
Right.
and I got it a good amount of times, and that iconic square scoop.
The square scoop.
You can buy those scoopers, the ones that look like the
put it in and it does it.
yeah, you can buy them, and they're the official Thrifty ones. But yeah, man, I thought about that. I was just thinking back. I was like, man, Rite Aid, that's the end of an era. Because
Yeah.
I mean, there was nothing like going in there and getting a double scoop of Rocky Road straight out the carton onto the cone, out in the car, melting all over your hands. And
Right,
shit.
right.
Yeah,
Did they used to do waffle cones? Did they have the waffle
I
cones?
think they did after a while, but initially it was just
It was
the
just the
standard.
little,
yeah.
the regular.
And I remember it was like 25 cents a scoop.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
It was cheap.
Yeah.
So
I wonder how much the scoops are now.
it's I don't even. It's been a minute. It
Been a
makes
while,
me
yeah.
want to go track down one just to go get some before they close
go.
up.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
since y'all closing, are these on clearance?
Can I get some discount scoops?
So they like, yeah, but I do it with my fingers.
Ah, no, thank you. I'll pay extra.
In that case, I'll do it with just my palms. But no, I was thinking about it in the sense of like, you know, our kids. There's certain things that our kids and even grandkids, whatever, right? When that time comes, they're not gonna have that experience. You know, and obviously there's experiences that we never got that our parents did and things like that. But it's to that stage now where I thought about like I started thinking about that, and it's like they're not gonna get, you know, your grandkids not gonna get to experience thrifty scoop.
Right.
You know, there might be some side company that comes out and tries to mimic it, but it ain't the same.
Nah, they got Cold Stones and they got all kinds of other stuff. So.
Cold Stone is ridiculous, dog. I can't. I'm good. $25 for a pint.
It's like high-end ice cream.
But yeah, another thing I was thinking about is like Toys R Us. Like what? Like the fact that kids now don't have that experience of like walking through those doors and it's like 25 aisles worth of nothing but toys.
Right.
Like there's where can you do that? There's no stores anymore to do that. So what?
Not a straight toy store.
Yeah. So what? Walmart has toys. Target has toys. Best Buy has toys. But nobody has an entire store that's toys.
Yeah.
And Toys R Us was. You remember going in there and they had the glass cases for the expensive stuff.
Right.
The video games, things like that, the remote control cars.
Yeah.
And you had to pay for a piece of paper. You literally had to go to the register,
take the paper,
and pay for that piece of paper that said that you wanted that so they could stamp it.
Yeah. And then
you take your receipt and the stamp over to the window, and then they hand you whatever it was.
Right.
Like if you was buying Hot Wheels or anything like that was on the shelf.
Grab that.
But if it was anything above I'd say probably about like $30-$40.
If you were getting that Nintendo 64 game, you had to get your paper.
I mean, even Nintendo, you know, forget 64, just Nintendo.
That Sega Genesis.
But yeah, I mean,
that new Sonic.
You bought a piece of paper, and then you traded the piece of paper for your console.
Hey man, they had to cut down on the thievery. I thought it was pretty genius though.
Yeah, but I mean, and I know in the later years they kind of took that away. That they eased up on that. You know, the video games still think they did it, but most of the toys was just on the shelves.
Right. Had to get your Super Soaker like that.
But just
those things used to walk out the door.
Man,
Super Soakers used to walk out the door, and then come back 2 weeks later.
Right. But like that experience, man, as a kid, like me walking into Toys R Us, I can't think of nothing that was better.
Yeah.
It was like one of those experiences, like, and if you went to a store that was next to a Toys R Us, you was always. I remember I used to, Mom, can we go in? And my mom like, go, but you ain't getting nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like
do some window shop.
You know, I mean, and don't get me wrong, my parents bought me plenty of toys, things like that. But like, it wasn't every time we went, I was getting something. You know what I mean? I mean, smart budgeting, right? You can't.
Yeah.
As a kid, I was like, that's messed up. But in reality,
different times now, man.
But yeah, kids won't get that experience, man. And then I started.
It's all right. They're only getting $2 anyway, so
right.
We don't need it. We don't need a whole. We don't need a whole toy store anymore.
So. In thinking about Toys R Us, then it led me into thinking about, remember KB Toys?
KB Toy Store.
Every mall you went in had a KB Toy Store, which again, it wasn't as big as Toys R Us, but it was a dedicated toy store that was vastly overpriced. But it was a toy store.
Yeah.
Again, that experience, like I notice now when you go to a mall, there's different stores and most of it's clothing. But I'd say like 70% of stores are shoes. There's a lot of different women's shoe stores, men's shoes, athletic wear.
And even if you do find a toy store, it's not really...
Maybe a Build-A-Bear?
Yeah. It's not really a toy store. It's more like a collectibles.
Yeah, like a Build-A-Bear.
Yeah.
No,
I mean like...
you got like the
figurines and the statues and the comic books.
The Spencers is the closest you can get, or a Hot Topic or something.
Right.
But yeah, then they have the ones that have the glass shelves that are things that are put on consignment and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's no dedicated like full-on toy stores anymore. So kids just ain't going to get that experience. They just going to know the toys for what's online on Amazon.
Right.
And as cool it is, and I think we're all guilty of scrolling through Amazon when you're bored and finding stuff that you didn't really need that you end up buying.
Right.
As cool as that is, even for a kid to scroll through and look at all these toys and like see the pictures of it, for me, like the experience of walking in and just cruising up and down every aisle, looking at stuff, discovering new, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Something about it, man. Touching it, pressing all the buttons.
Nah, man. You sound like an old fart right now. Kids don't do that no more.
Back in my day, you little whippersnappers.
We used to have to go to the store to buy our toys. We didn't have Orion's World to watch.
Most of our toys didn't have buttons. We
They had
used
strings.
we used our mouths to make them gun noises.
Pause.
Right. We used our mouths. Pause. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, man.
we had imagination. But no, I mean, even the toys that had buttons that made noises, you was in there playing with them. You was touching,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
kids, you know, they just see the picture of it and they go, Mom, I want this because it does this.
Right.
But you really,
Different. I mean, you know, we're in a whole new age of technology. Now, your kids these days don't know a life before
yeah.
all the technology.
I feel like they don't even want toys anyways. By the time they hit like 7, they're like, nah, just give me an iPad and shut up.
Yeah, that's it. Everything.
And that's how they talk to their parents nowadays.
That's crazy.
Give me an iPad, man, and shut up.
It's all visual now, you know? Like
It is.
everything. If you get, like the iPad is really, you get them an iPad, they want the MacBook, they want computers, they want video games, they want visual stimulation.
I mean, I've seen like, you know, first graders walking around with iPhone 15s, you know, just like it's supposed to be that way.
Got Apple Watches on and everything.
Right.
Like, why does this kid have a better phone than me?
He's trying to track his steps and check his heartbeat.
Right. Math is stressing me out.
Right.
My watch says I need to breathe.
I can't get past my times tables.
Siri says I need to relax.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, man. Nah, it's just,
Little Billy, are you asking Siri what 10 times 10 is? Yes.
you know, I'm asking ChatGPT.
Right.
They're already using that stuff, man.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just got me thinking, man, with no thrifties, I was like, damn, I mean, pretty soon there's going to be no Best Buy because they're on their way out.
I mean,
You know, so
most-
just remember we had Circuit City, Good Guys, and Best Buy all at one time. And
those were the days.
there was all 3 of those options.
Those were the days. But when Best Buy was a new guy on the block,
And he was price matching everything.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Circuit City. And Circuit City wasn't even. It was literally just computer parts.
Initially, but then it was TVs, and they had TVs
had
and
stuff, but
stereos
like-
and car stereos and stuff. But
You're literally. I used to go there and look at computer parts.
so for me, I don't know why, and this is, you know, it's been, I don't know when did Circuit City close? I don't even know what year. But I remember going to Circuit City, and
The late 1900s.
I always thought
I
that
don't know.
was the, I think it was early 2000s.
Yeah, I know.
2010, maybe 9. But I always thought Circuit City was the bougie electronics store because of the way it was always set up, the way you know, the salesmen always were like wearing suits, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or, you know, for the most part, and you know, and things were very spread out. It wasn't like a heavily stocked store. It was kind of spread out.
Yeah,
And to be honest with you, I don't think I recall buying very much from Circuit City because it was usually overpriced. You could go to Good Guys or Best Buy and find better deals.
right.
And Good Guys wasn't even that great for that matter. Once Best Buy came into play, Good Guys had all the,
Yeah.
and you said computer parts, and it reminded me of, you remember CompUSA?
Oh, dude.
That fired into my head because I used to go to CompUSA to get stuff, and then from there it was Fry's.
Fry's. Yeah. When I was in San Diego, I was huge at Fry's,
So,
and Fry's was dope. Fry's had everything.
and that's gone too.
Fry's had everything. That's where I used to get all my
Now
cheap
it's,
TVs from.
Now it's Micro City.
Micro City.
There's one in Tustin.
Dang, I don't even.
See?
I do 80% of my shopping online anyway, so
It's true. True.
I'm not a big
When it comes to building my PC, shout out to Newegg.
Newegg, man. I used to be that's when my hard drive crashed. I went to Newegg to get a new hard drive.
Yep, and they
Way back in the day.
deliver fast around here too. So
Yeah. Yeah, man. We're living in a new world. No more like the tangible, actually getting up, going out, doing some shopping. Like that's stressful, man. I don't like traffic for one.
yeah,
And then I get to the store and then I gotta stand in lines. Or I can just do my window shopping from my phone.
and see the other side of that is, you know, sneakerhead going through the phone and ordering shoes became convenient. One, because I wear a 15, and most of the time when you walk into a Foot Locker and you say you got this in the 15 or that in the 15, they'll either say no or they'll say let me go check. And there's 2 things that come out when they check. Or I take that back. There's 3. 1, they come out and they say they don't have it.
Right.
2, they come out and they say all we have are these in the 15, and there'll be like some like purple, green, and yellow, you know,
Adidas.
yeah.
Some Pumas.
So that nobody's ever bought. And they blow the dust off it.
Right.
Or 3, they bring you the shoes you want in like a size
I got
11
them
or
in
12,
11. Yeah.
and they start handing it to you as if you're trying to try it on. And I'm like, what do you want me to do with this? Like I wear a 15. If you bring me a 14, I'll give it a go. You bringing me an 11? I mean, are you going to cut the toes out?
Right.
You know, you're gonna cut the heel out and making some slides.
What do you want me to do with
What-
this?
So, but yeah, shoes is another thing, man. I used to love going in and before my feet got as big as they are, I used to love going in and trying my shoes on and like, you know, really feeling like, do I like these? And now it's like, nope, got to order them online. And it's been like that for a long time now. I just order them online. And then if I don't, I just return them. So, but yeah, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of going out and shopping anymore. I mean, I never really was.
Yeah.
Very short period.
I hate lines.
Yeah, lines suck.
I don't like
I
lines.
don't like traffic. I don't like looking for parking. I don't like any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And if I can't get it off my phone, then I'll go out and look for it. But
At the very least, I'll order it and go store pickup so I can walk right in the door to the customer service and give me my
and then
bag.
walk out. Yeah.
So,
Since I'm here, let me browse. You know,
yeah.
knowing that I don't have to wait in line.
And on the shoe tip, it got me thinking. You saw the Netflix. There's a new Netflix docu-series, Shaq and AI.
Shaq and
for
AI.
Allen Iverson. You know, Shaq bought Reebok. I mean, he is Reebok now.
Yeah,
And hired AI as the vice
as the
president.
vice president. Yeah, he's the president. AI is the vice
So
president.
there's gonna be a docu-series, 6 episodes,
Right.
and it's gonna basically, I guess they've been filming this process. So there's gonna be a whole docu-series on this Reebok revival.
Breathing new life into Reebok, which
So-
I would like to see because if I'm not mistaken, Reebok gave Shaq his first shoe deal, right?
Indeed.
No, he wasn't Kamikazes. He had the Hypnotic,
Shaqnosis.
Shaqnosis.
Yeah.
Who had the Kamikazes? Kemp?
I think
Sean Kemp
no,
had the
it was
Kamikazes?
the Raymans.
I can't remember, but I remember the Kamikazes.
But then
though,
obviously
had that
Yeah, and then obviously AI had the
question.
had the
whatever.
answers.
Yeah.
No, he's not the question. He's the answer, bro.
Answer.
Let's figure out who the basketball
The
fan
exclamation
point. Those are still to pay less.
He had the hyphens, right?
and the crazy part is I was thinking back, and I've never once owned Reeboks. And I know there was a point too where there was a couple of AIs that I wanted, and I never
Never got him.
got them for whatever reason. But I've never owned a pair of Reeboks. I know a couple of my friends owned some when we were in like high school, owned some of the pumps.
Yeah.
You know, and one, I don't know if I knew anybody who had the Shaqs. Did I know anybody with the Shaqs? I think I knew somebody with not the Shaqnosis ones, but the ones before that they were black and white with a hint of blue. They were the Orlando. I think they were his first ones,
Okay.
but I don't remember anybody with the Shaqnosis ones. I
know
remember.
I remember we had a couple sneakerheads back in the day who always had the flyest of kicks. Wayne Dooley always had
Yeah.
the dopest.
I
shoes.
remember. So I remember. I think when the Shaqnosis came out, at that point, I was already wearing like a 13 or 14, and I remember somebody telling me, and I think it was a girl, told me that if I wore those, that I would literally look like I was sloshing around with 2 Shamus on my feet because of the way they looked in the color scheme.
Swimming.
So, and maybe that's why I never got those.
Yeah.
You know, you're young and the girls are gonna tell you got Shamus on your feet. You're gonna think twice. But
I'd be like, you want these Shamus.
but yeah, when I was thinking about Reeboks, I don't think I ever had any Reeboks. I can't remember a pair of Reeboks that I ever wore.
So, are you only Nike? Mostly Nike.
Mostly Nike. So I mean, right now or all time.
Both.
So right now, my shoe closet, it has a gang of Kobe's, a gang of Jordans, and a gang of Foamposites. Now there's a pretty decent amount of Air Maxes of varying types, the 90s, the 95s,
Yeah.
the 97s. But I still have Timbos that I rock every now and then. You know, ironically, I have an old, and I think I had these from the early 2000s, but I still have them. They're damn near new, but I got a pair of lugs.
The lugs?
I got a pair of lugs
Not
still.
the lugs.
Remember the lugs?
Yeah, them things were heavy.
Yeah, they were. And trying to think, do I have anything else?
Them things were heavy.
I mean, I got a couple pairs of dress shoes, and back in the day, I know I did have some Adidas. I remember buying the Kobe's, not the ones that look like the moon boots, but I remember buying the one that looked like it had the footprint on the bottom.
Yeah.
And I had, I had some K-Swiss back in the day.
Ooh,
I
K-Swiss.
rocked the canvas lows.
Those used to be my shits.
Yeah, so.
The all whites.
But right now, I don't have any of that. I do have the lugs and I have some Timbos. But then, yeah, I think it's all
Mostly
Nike
Nikes.
right now. Yeah. Yeah.
I got a lot of Nikes now. I didn't used to. Well, I didn't used to have a lot of shoes before. It was 3 pairs, basically.
And that's why I'm really curious with the release of all these new collections of Ewings. Since
If I didn't already have the shoes that I have now,
I always
definitely
gotta throw it back.
nah. I ain't even mad at you for it. Because I see there's a couple of them that I see that I'm like, yeah, I want to get these.
Dude,
but
I swear on my feed, ever since
we
you said
talked
that
about 'em.
story
Yeah.
about the fake Ewings and then getting the new ones, then you got those the
Cool G
the
raps.
Cool G raps.
Yeah.
All of a sudden my Facebook page gets ads for all the Ewings when they drop. And so like
So you seen them all?
I'm seeing every
you seen
different
the
one.
big
The
puns,
Death Rows,
the
the
Death
Big
Rows,
Pun, all of that.
the commons.
And then I saw they just started coming out with the classics. So they got the
Yeah.
suede gray ones and the black ones.
And that's pretty much the suede gray and navy ones.
yeah.
That's basically the shoe that I had, but instead of navy, it was black. So it was a gray and black
And that was the
suede
fake
colorway.
ones?
Those are the fake
The
ones.
fake
yeah.
ones. Okay, got you.
Yeah.
So you got to get the real ones now so you can redeem yourself.
I thought about it, but I don't have. I got
don't-
too many shoes as it is.
I know. It's hard to have Ewing money.
I know, right?
How much do the Ewings go for? That's one thing. I've never clicked the ad, so I don't even know how much they sell for.
Shoot, I don't know. I just threw them in the bag because
Dang, baller, must be nice.
one pair of shoes. Come on now. They're Ewings.
Just throw it in the bag.
They're Ewings.
Money's no object.
It ain't like
Sir, they're only
it
$39.99.
ain't like I'm buying Dior's out here.
Right. Well, maybe they'll do a Dior Ewing collabo.
Hey.
They got the Dior Jordan, so.
That'll be fire.
But yeah. So
Yeah, and I thought about it. I seen them every time they come up. I'm like, man, I'm about to have me the sickest Ewing collection. But then it's like, nah, I got too many.
like the extent of Kobe's and Jordans I have is pretty big, and also the foam. I thought about, you know what I thought about doing is I thought about taking all my foam posits
Yeah.
and stacking them around the bathtub and all that, and then sitting in the bathtub with a few on my lap and whatnot, and one on my feet, and taking a photo and posting it up saying taking a foam bath.
All I'm seeing is Tupac.
Foam bath.
All I'm seeing is Tupac.
We don't even resemble each other.
Doesn't matter, but you know what picture I'm talking about. You know what picture I'm talking about.
Is that the picture you had in your locker in high school? Tupac in the bathtub?
Yes, that was.
So everybody else had Lil' Kim.
It was right next to a picture of your mom.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Everybody had Lil' Kim. You had Pac in
I
the
had
bathtub.
No,
man.
I had Maya. That's who I had.
Oh, you had Maya?
Monica.
Okay.
I had all the.
A lot of people had. I had I can't remember all the ones I had. I did have Lil' Kim, but I had a couple other ones on my locker. But I don't remember what I had up. I really don't.
I don't remember having any pictures in my lockers. I just remember having my music. I hope my mom doesn't hear this episode. I had to keep all my music in my locker at school because if my mom found it, she'd have got rid of all of them.
She wasn't with the explicit.
She was not. She was
Got
not
you.
down with the parental advisory.
That's why you was telling me to hold so many
The
CDs
gangster rap.
from Columbia House.
Yeah.
No.
Hold these for me. Man,
Pause.
Columbia House. I miss the 16 CDs for 1 cent.
So it's funny that you say music because you went a different route. I didn't think that was going to be the story that you were hiding your CDs in your locker because you remember I had this. I used to carry the speakers in my backpack. I had those little.
I don't remember that.
Oh, you don't remember? So I used to have these little speakers so I cut little slits in the straps.
Yeah.
And I slid these little round speakers under the slits on my shoulders, and I would have my CD with anti-skip in the backpack playing, and it was speakers would come out like that. I didn't do it a lot during passing class because they'll security take your stuff. But like after school walking out, like I would have that and all that. But I used to keep the speakers. There was a while where I would keep the speakers in my locker, and every once in a while I'd turn them on and play them. But yeah, I had them in my backpack.
That's crazy. I remember that.
That was senior year when I did that. I slid them, just slid the little things, and I stitched it back up when I decided to put them in there.
Yeah.
I slid it and I stitched it back up with the speakers inside, and the cord just dragged out right by where the zipper is.
Yeah.
I put a little hole,
Punched it right
through, and then I just had to put my CD player in there. And it'd be much easier now with an iPod and or iPhone and all that.
I mean, there's so many portable
Bluetooth,
speakers now. Yeah.
Bluetooth, yeah, you didn't know no cords necessary.
Nothing. Just get your JBL.
So
Crazy.
but yeah.
Yeah, those are the good old days.
Hiding the CDs from mom. I'm gonna send her this episode on.
Please don't.
Let her know.
Please don't.
I got your mom on
I
speed
don't
dial.
want to have that conversation. Nah, but then I got the
Speed
car.
dial.
I got the car to the summer of my junior year, going into the senior year.
That was the
The
Maxima?
Maxima, yeah.
Yeah,
The
I
89
remember.
Maxima.
Burgundy, right?
Burgundy.
Yeah, I remember.
With the sunroof. I wanted to do so much to that car.
I remember that.
But then once I got that, then I could keep all the CDs in the car. And then I got my Case Logic. And then I left it on top of the car.
And then you drove off, lost all your CDs.
Lost all my CDs. I've done that too many times. I've had to rebuild the collection. So I know there's stuff that I had that I just can't get again. And then there's just stuff that I don't even remember what I used to have.
There was a point, this wasn't high school, this was much after, but there was a point because I had so many CDs. You see my notebooks. I have probably somewhere around 6,000 or so CDs, maybe more. But there was a stage where the ones that I knew I was gonna be playing a lot and putting in the changer and whatnot, I would burn copies of, and I would use the copies in the car so that the originals wouldn't
Keep
get
the
worn
originals, yeah.
So because not all CDs, but there was a good deal of them only because I didn't want the original to get worn out, knowing I
Right.
was gonna play it a lot.
Right.
So yeah, so I still have a lot of CDs that when you look at that back, not a scratch on there, they just perfect condition, just because I didn't put them in the player. It was always the copies.
The good old days. Yeah, I would
So-
take them, go on Windows Media Player, download them onto my computer, put them on the MP3, make the MP3 CDs.
I ain't gonna lie, I was pretty early in the game with the burning. I bought a SCSI burner, like I want to say like senior year, might have been the year after we graduated. Yeah, I was early, and I thought I was balling too because it burned at 2 times speed.
Ooh, okay. All right.
So
Cutting edge of technology.
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't get into burning until, let's say, early 2000s.
yeah.
I think is when it started. Back then, because I had all this new, fresh boot camp money coming in, so I thought I was rich, man. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing. Every payday, I'm going out buying CDs and DVDs, living the dream, man, living the dream. When I got to Okinawa, Japan, my first paycheck there, I went out and bought my DVD player. I bought and this is how old, if anybody's familiar with the Bose lifestyle systems and what
Right.
number they're on now. Brand new, I got the Bose Lifestyles 12.
Yeah, those are pricey too.
And I want to, it was,
Yeah.
I thought you couldn't tell me nothing, man.
So here was my beef with Bose. Like, I remember they had the Bose stores and all that stuff.
yeah,
And it was hella expensive, right?
yeah,
The quality was trash. Not talking about the sound quality, the build quality.
the quality of the bill, yeah,
Because those systems stopped working like way too soon.
yeah,
And the speakers themselves would start tearing. Like, if you actually took the little mesh off and looked
yeah.
at the whole
Surround.
the whole outside of your speaker was already torn. So I was just like, these are terrible.
Hey, it worked for me.
So
But you're right, it did. My system did mess up. I've had to repair it a couple times.
I
I still have it.
I remember Iowa.
Yes.
It was Iowa system. I remember in the house I had an Iowa system, and then I went out and got the Sherwin Vega house speakers.
Mm,
Those
Yeah.
the big
the
12s.
towers, yeah.
Yeah, I used to I lived in an apartment, so the neighbors did not like me when I got those because, well, I liked music and they got to feel it. I don't know how much they could hear,
But they could feel
but they
it.
could feel it.
I could feel it.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I know you had that money. You was balling. You was like, hey, iPod, nah, I'm about to get me this Microsoft Zune.
Nah, for real. I did everything, but everything that wasn't Apple, I was trying it out because I refused. I was like, nah, I'm not doing. I gotta have a whole new format for my music. Like, no, iTunes, no, thank you. I don't want that. It's not universal enough for me. I needed I can't even remember what it was.
Should have
But
bought some stock back then.
yeah, if I was smart, if I was into buying stocks back then, I would have. But I ain't know nothing about that back then.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I had a media player when everybody was buying iPods
Yeah.
and whatnot. I had a media player that was by Creative. Can't remember what it was called, but it looked like about the size of an iPhone Max right now.
Yeah.
And it had a screen and it actually played videos. You could import videos on there and play it. So everyone was like, "Wait, you can listen to music and watch videos?" I'm like, "Yeah." And that blew everybody's mind. And it wasn't for a while after that came out that finally you had an iPhone or an iPod that could play
Yeah.
video. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
The
man,
good old days.
that's
Now everything is just in the phone.
a trip down.
Is there still iTunes? Does iTunes still exist? Is that still it ain't like it used to be though. I know that for sure.
I mean,
Because it's just
I listen. There's
it's just Apple Music
Apple
now.
Music.
Yeah.
So I know I think you can still download it. I think you sync your phone if you need to your computer if you want to back your stuff up, or you just do like normal people and use the cloud. So
Good old iTunes.
But yeah, man, nostalgia.
I love it.
But we deviated a lot. The initial topic was the nostalgia of Reebok and this dope Netflix series, and we went on a hell of a tangent. But I am looking forward to seeing Shaq's docuseries on Reebok. It may inspire me to maybe grab a pair. But
yeah,
I'm actually I saw the trailer and it actually looks pretty dope. It looks it shows a lot of them starting to brainstorm and try to figure out how what athletes to sign and you know what deals they can get and who even wanted to come to Reebok.
Right.
So I'm really curious.
Well, I mean, I seen they already got Angel Reese on the roster. She got her shoes out, their little collab. So the rebound. Wow. Maybe they end up with a deal and they do all the WNBA ladies at.
Nah, they're gonna get other athletes.
Shoes.
I think they already got some too, if I'm not mistaken. But
no, I'm saying they could be. Reebok could be the official shoe of the WNBA. Maybe
you should reach out to Ice Cube. Maybe you can team up with Starter. Starter got the jerseys. Reebok got the kicks. But I feel like the players want to wear their own stuff, so that's just not gonna happen. Yeah, and I don't think it could be the official shoe per se because there's other like Sabrina got the Nikes that are modeled after the Mambas. There's a few. So I don't know.
I'm just throwing shit out.
Shaq didn't like that idea. I could hear him saying it right now. No,
I mean, we speak shit into fruition all the time,
Apparently. So, and in other movie news, did you ever watch that movie back in the day, 13 Ghosts?
Yeah, man. You know what I love?
A little slept on, I think.
You know what I love the most about 13 Ghosts? The black guy survives the whole movie.
He did.
That was not something that happened back in the day.
He didn't fall on a rock and get slashed or nothing. Yeah,
he made it all the way to the end. He survived all 13 ghosts. Shout out to that was.
Is that why the movie kind of flopped?
Maybe
because it didn't follow the tradition.
People weren't happy about that.
They were hating. They were like,
"Nah,
how could this be?
Nah, he shouldn't have survived." Taye Diggs, right? That was Taye Diggs. Yeah.
But so 13 Ghosts, I think was a little bit of a sleeper. I know a lot of people hated it. So my thing with most horror movies, because I've been on a lot of sets and done some stuff and seen some stuff, I find them funny most of the time.
Right.
So I will watch them and I will be already picking apart the practicality of what they did, and so some of it becomes humorous to me versus scary. Now, obviously, jump scares are a thing. You hear a loud noise, a human reaction is you're gonna jump most of the time.
Right.
So yeah, they get me with jump scares with noises. You might jump a little bit. There's a lot of times I don't, but you might get a little twitch. But as far as the horror factor, that doesn't get me too much. So I end up appreciating certain movies beyond it. And I thought 13 Ghosts, the premise, and even the look of the movie was kind of dope. I actually kind of liked it.
Yeah.
So that being said, they're working on a series.
A 13 Ghost series.
Yeah, so it's not a sequel or nothing like that. What it's more of an origins, and what it sounds like is there's going to be 13 episodes,
one for each ghost,
and each episode is going to be like kind of like the origin of the ghost.
Yeah,
like
that'll be cool. I'd like to see that one.
So
because we get you
get to kind of explore the personalities of the ghosts. I guess
I don't know if they touched on all of the ghosts, but I do remember we got a little bit of backstory on at least some of them.
Yeah, there was some the little flashbacks that they did and whatnot. So this one will give you kind of a more
in depth.
I mean, maybe they're not ghosts, maybe they're humans before. However, I don't know.
Well, yeah, they had to be. I imagine they had to be.
Well, I mean, the series could start it when they became a ghost, right?
True.
And then all the crap. But I feel like it's going to tell the person of the ghost story.
Yeah.
So, no, I thought that was an interesting premise for a series, doing 13 episodes based on each ghost.
Nah, that'll be dope. I'm looking forward to seeing that one. Again, more nostalgia vibes, because I imagine seeing them again in that light will just, bring back up all the old feelings of watching 13 Ghosts for the first time.
Right.
And
I can't say I watched it a gang of times. I maybe have only seen it like 2 or 3 times.
Maybe, I definitely watched that one more than a couple times.
I have it on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
but
I definitely watched that more than a couple times.
It's
again because
cool.
The black hero lived, the black guy lived. So
you just fast forward to the end.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to see. I just wanted to watch the last chapter.
And I say fast forward, but I mean chapter skip.
Skipped. Yeah. because I was all DVD at that point.
right.
Again, you know, I had my own money, so
Well,
we don't do VHS tapes around here. Have my RCA DVD player
right. It's an RCA DVD.
with my
player.
RCA 36-inch tube TV.
My
Yeah.
first DVD player was a Sony. Yeah, it was a Sony.
Nah, see, I didn't have Sony money.
Sony money. I was a Sony. I bought all Sony. Sony.
I wasn't that much of a baller.
So, and lastly, the last topic I figured I would bring up is I know you're also a fan of The Office.
I did love me some Office.
So the
it
sequel,
wasn't the same after Michael left.
it wasn't, but I still enjoyed it. And it was cool. The last episode, he pops
It had
up
its
for
moments.
the, for the wedding. you
Yeah.
know. But spoiler alert, my bad.
If
Has
you
anybody
haven't-
not seen The
If you
Office?
haven't seen The Office, that's your bad.
So the sequel to the series is going to be called The Paper, and it's
So is it a prequel to The Office? The
No.
paper before the.
right.
That's where
The
they got
paper
their. That's
before-
where they got their paper from.
So it actually is going to. So the story of it is that the documentary crew that filmed Dunder Mifflin is looking for a new company to do a new series on.
So is it
And
about the company or is it about the film crew?
little column A, little column B. So I think they're riding it from. This is just what I read.
Yeah.
They're riding with the fact that they're looking for a company and they stumble on this newspaper that's still trying to thrive in an age of the internet, right? And small town paper still tries to find the scoops and the big stories, whatever.
Right.
Supposed to have a pretty comedic cast and whatnot, and a couple of characters will reoccur, and one of them that's a main character is Oscar. So Oscar is going to reprise his role, and from what I read, that some of the premise is that the documentary team doesn't know that Oscar works at this newspaper, so they show up and they start getting ready to do those stuff,
Okay. Yeah.
and then Oscar sees the crew, recognizes them, and is just like kind of disgusted by it, like not this again. And so part of his, I guess, character twist on this is that now he's working at this small newspaper,
Yeah.
and he's got to deal with
The
these people following him around and doing this whole process all over that he's
That
already
he-
experienced.
Thought he got away from.
So and that leads me to believe that could lead to a lot of throwbacks, because you could have other of those newspaper workers asking him, "Oh, so what was this like when you did it?" Or what was the, you know what I mean?
Right.
And maybe he's still friends with some of the the old crew.
The
so
old Dunder Mifflin
they
people.
come through and check on him, or he goes, what I
Yeah.
mean? So, who knows? But I'm hoping that it's as good as The Office, because The Office for me is one of those shows that's definitely did its thing. I think the writing was great. I know it was a spin from the British version, the Ricky Gervais,
Yeah.
which I also checked out strong on
How'd
streaming.
you feel about that one?
So I watched the whole series. I found it funny. However, even though it's the original, and usually the original is better, I think I consider the one that we had better only because it was more relatable.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The jokes, the workplace, the people,
That makes sense.
it was Americanized, right? So, and that's what I'm here. So
Yeah.
it was just a little bit more relatable. But that said, the Ricky Gervais version is funny. It is good, and there's a lot of parallels.
Right.
So
That's cool. I used to hate Jim in the beginning.
he was like, because he was kind of like this like douche. He was just like this
Well, not even that.
kind of
I
a
mean,
prick.
I mean,
a little bit of an arrogance.
he knew Pam was married or not married, but
Yeah,
Pam
he-
had the
he slipped in
boyfriend.
there.
Like he came in there. I was like, this fucking guy. I don't like this guy.
I mean, at first it was kind of like you knew there was chemistry, right? You knew they kind of both. It was the chemistry went both ways.
It did.
So it was definitely reciprocal, and I feel like he understood her position, maybe didn't like it, and he held back until he didn't.
Yeah.
And but I get why they did that. That was the cliffhanger to the next season. So
It was.
and that led him to bounce and go to
It all worked out, but
So-
yeah, it was. And
We're
they
we're gonna have a whole
did
show
make
talking about The Office now.
they did make a good couple, but
No,
yeah, it was just
I dig The Office. I like the way it went, and I think that's the joy of the show is because there was that hate love to all the characters for that
Yeah.
part. There was points in all of it that you were kind of like, eesh.
right.
So
Everybody had their moments. I love that though. Everybody got their little time to shine.
I loved Daryl. Like I loved his.
Daryl was dope.
Well, the thing that made his character great, and shout out because he plays this character, that he plays that role phenomenally.
Yeah.
But that really quiet, barely open your mouth and to speak delivery. I can't believe he just did. You know what I mean? The way he does
Yeah.
it hits harder than the volume of his voice
Right.
because of the delivery. And because he plays everything so cool,
Yeah.
that character was just, I thought it was hilarious to me.
Yeah.
That was hilarious to me. So
Always messing with Andy.
yeah. And that was the thing. It was like you had Jim kind of, obviously
Jim was the
messing with Schrute.
with Dwight Schrute.
So, but you had
Schrute
that
Farms.
you always had that dynamic. But then when Andy came into play, and Daryl started messing with him a little bit, that was
Yeah, good show. I definitely enjoyed it.
I did too. One of my favorite moments actually on that show was when Will Ferrell came in to be the office manager,
yeah.
and they met at the bar. They didn't realize they met at hold on, I got this call. Oh, me too. And it was just so stupid
Yeah.
that it was like, this is great.
Yeah.
And I just appreciated that little cameo. There was a lot of cameos in that too.
It was a lot.
I mean,
yeah. They had a bunch of cameos.
So
That Will Ferrell one was hilarious. Will Ferrell's a funny dude.
both Wills were in that because Will Ferrell was in that
And Will Arnett.
Arnett. He said Arquette. That's not even a Will.
That's the other. Yeah, that's the other families.
But Office is classic. So I'm looking forward to seeing the paper. I think it has potential on paper, I guess, if you will. But
Waka waka.
waka waka waka. But yeah, so lots of sequels and lots of remakes and all that because that's the
The era we're
Hollywood way.
living in. Yeah. Let's do it again.
So I wonder.
Maybe we can strike gold twice.
I wonder what the first, and maybe there already has it. We don't know, but I want to know what the first series is going to come out where it's entirely written by ChatGPT.
That'll be interesting.
Like you prompt it to create a 12-episode series based on blah 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 that has 5 main characters, one of which is this, one of which is that. You know what I mean? You kind of give it some character points.
Give it
and then you say,
foundation.
I need 12, I don't know if you're going to do half hours, so you need 12 24-minute skits.
Yeah.
Or 20 scripts, I mean. So and it writes them out for you.
Or maybe
Now who how do you copyright that? Are you copywriting it because you prompted it to do the work and it that's the result of your prompts, or does ChatGPT get the writing credit?
I don't know. All of that stuff is up in the air now.
It's gonna happen. I promise it's gonna happen.
I wouldn't doubt it. It might
And it
already be out
probably already
there.
has,
It might be already be out there. Some small
Now I'm gonna do it right now. When we get off
YouTube
this
channel
podcast.
probably has something. Or you can use that to get the concepts of an idea, and it just gives you the
So we're going back to concepts of a script.
yeah. More concepts, more scripts. All concepts.
Yeah,
Yeah, AI is going to take over,
indeed.
and we're going to let it, unfortunately.
Pretty soon, all we'll have to do is take a picture, upload that picture, and then tell it to
Yeah.
here, make a podcast out of these guys, and then it'll do our voices, our lip movement, our everything.
You seen the clips of them turning podcasters into babies?
I did see that. It's podcasters and movie. I've seen movie scenes too. I saw them did it Friday. Did a couple
I saw
scenes
the
on
Friday one too.
Yeah, so I saw Training Day, a couple other ones. Yeah, that's the trend right now is using the AI babies that look
AI.
like the actors. I saw Step Brothers.
It's going to get scary. Oh, I didn't see the Step Brothers one.
Step- yeah,
Was
where-
that funny?
Yeah, they had the scene where he's asking him if he touches his drums,
Yeah.
and I saw the other one where they do the questions.
Yeah.
If you were this and this, was it if you were a woman and you could bang one celebrity, whatever, John Stamos, did we just become best friends? Yeah, they did that whole bit as babies.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. So, that movie's classic.
That's
But,
crazy.
yeah, so that's all the news I got for today as far as sequels and remakes. So, and I've reached that.
This is the remix. Yeah, man.
So, with that, like, subscribe, follow, repost, all that, whatever those actions do.
Appreciate y'all tapping in with us. Hope to see you next week. Can you reach that?
Can you reach that?
Can You Reach That? Brought to you by Double One Entertainment in Coopersville. Hosted by Tango and Coop. And created and edited by Tim Greenlee and Brandon Adolphus. Music, sound design, and editing by Michael B. That's me. Visual art and graphic design by Jonathan Greenlee. Additional visual design by Timothy Greenlee.
Can you reach that?